All right, so I want to take the time. I know there's a lot of controversy over the internet over certain topics, and I think I wanted to take a time to talk a little bit about some things that have been going on. And number one, I'm going to start with the men's physique, classic physique versus bodybuilding. And as you guys know that follow me, I'm promoting a lot of events now. So I've retired from competing on the stage and now focusing on my efforts on the platforms for all the athletes to compete in for every division. And I'm in favor of all the different divisions. I always mention I started off, it was mostly men's, it was only men's bodybuilding and women's bodybuilding. So now it's transpired. We have men's physique that kind of came on the scene, and recently, last couple of years, classic. So, there's been some controversy with Jeremy Buendia speaking his mind about, how men's physique kind of, saved bodybuilding, like meaning the shows and the attention from the audience. And, I think there's a little misinterpretation of what he was trying to say, and I think, I follow a lot of people on social media, and I'm a fan of, like I said, every division. Someone like Jeremy, he has a great physique all around. I mean, he does train his legs hard. He just came off an injury, and he's going for number 5 title, which he says is going to be his final, and last Mr. Olympia men's physique show, which makes me believe that he's going to focus more on his business ventures. I fell into that as I progressed, and I realized that I was being held back from actually competing when I actually developed a brand, and I think now he's to that point where he's going on his 5th title, which I think he'll probably win, and he's going to focus on traveling and really promoting his side of what he does. But I think really what he was trying to say is, like, he's out there networking, he's out there promoting, he's out spreading the word. His following is growing tremendously. He's passed up a lot of the guys. He's getting super popular for a young guy. He's still under the age of 30. And I think the men's physique division causes more excitement because the guys are younger. I mean, you have guys in their 20s that are doing very well. And I think that's an enthusiasm from the audience, like especially the young guys, whereas the bodybuilding side, you have to be in your 30s really to really make a solid breakthrough or close 230 or over 30. I mean, I won my first Olympia at 33. Phil Heath won his first at 30. So I think, for the guys that are starting off, especially the teenagers, and I don't know what the controversy is with, especially like, I know Sergio Oliva's been speaking his mind lately about, well, guys are taking a shortcut and they're doing classic. I think everything should be a stepping stone. So, like, if you're not big enough as a teenager, you have the option to do the board shorts, which is a men's physique, and then, of course, move up to classic when you start getting a little more size. And listen, eventually everyone wants to be a bodybuilder. I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to compete for the Mr. Olympia competition? If that's what you want to do, I would figure that, we're still going to be at the king of the hill with the men's bodybuilding. And I don't think Jeremy was trying to say, hey, bodybuilding's dead. He's talking on the amateur level, which is true. If it wasn't for men's physique, we wouldn't have as much an abundance of the show. The same thing goes for the women bikini over the women's, figure or fitness or physique. I mean, it's all bikini and men's physique at these amateur shows. And I think, that young generation and those people that are young in the sport are really just looking at the top people, and Jeremy being the top guy. I mean, I think, he's out there grinding, man. I respect the guy a lot for that. And, we actually reached out when all that was going on, and I told him, I said, dude, just stay headstrong with what you do. And, I can spread that even to Sergio, like, dude, focus on being the best you can be, and don't use the negativity of, the other divisions and people saying, well, the classic's the way of the future. It's not the way of the future. I think the future is every division, but everyone's going to find their niche. And it really depends on the personality of certain people and the grind of certain people that are going to propel them to be the headliners of their different divisions. And we're always going to have people that stand out more. The outspoken ones seem to be the ones that, get the most publicity, but you got to be able to back that stuff up too. And I think a lot of these champs are able to do that. And I always tended to just, you know, let my body do the talking at these shows. I never was very vocal about it because I'm more of a backseat guy where I just kind of take the approach of I'm not going to say too much. Let's see how it pans out. And, you know, I fortunately worked my way to the top and I was able to maintain that for quite a long time. But I respect all these guys, and I just want to say, you know, our business is continuing to grow. I don't want to get into let's compare tickets to men's physique to bodybuilding. I mean, listen, the bodybuilding is still the main stage. It's always going to be that way. But man, who is our future? You know, who is our future? And I'm going to give in another video my predictions for this year's Mr. Olympia, and we're going to just go a year at a time. But man, you got a lot of guys that are just, you know, moving away from bodybuilding because their age, and we need the younger generation to step up. And some of those younger generation are focusing on the lighter divisions because that's what their body potential is. I mean, listen, not everyone wants to be 300. Not everyone can be 300 pounds in the off season to diet down to 260, 270, whatever it is, and compete at 250. I mean, to compete at 250, you got to be at least 270 in the off season. You got to be 20 pounds over that. So, and as you know, people like Dexter Jackson, who's 5'7", is competing upwards, you know, in the two, you know, probably high 230s, 240. Phil Heath's claiming, you know, 255 or whatever. I mean, he's 5'9". Listen, it's so hard to compete. I was my best at 255 and competed as high as 273. My best was still 255 at 5'9". So, you know, you got Big Ramy who pushed the envelope or whatever. But, you know, this classic division is continuing to grow. We have a lot of guys stepping into that division that are very, very good. You're going to have a good lineup this year going into Olympia. But, you know, let these guys do what they do. And, you know, the internet or social media is always going to be a verbal war. But I see a lot of guys out there grinding, so my respect goes off to them. And, you know, I just wanted to put my opinion out there on what I think of those divisions. So stay tuned for more content.